Hello friends, we're about to begin a truly motivating, inspiring and life-changing journey on our special series, The Healing Touch by Nawaz Singhania, India's leading lifestyle and fitness icon, the founder of Body Art and Fitness Center and popularly known as the First Lady of Fitness in India. She's a certified fitness professional from ACE and IDEA, helping individuals across the globe to be healthier and fitter. She has helped and guided marathoner Michelle Kakte to achieve the Guinness World Record. Not just that, during COVID-19, she spearheaded the online programs to help people stay active and healthy. She collaborated with Bollywood celebrities to help promote fitness. Beyond fitness, Nawaz is also a noted columnist, artist, author of the book Pause Rewind. She also brings her expertise to the corporate world as a board of director at the Raymond Limited. Welcome to the show, The Healing Touch by Nawaz Singhania. Often we have experiences in our life that have traumatized us, that have left scars, be it in the womb or through the childhood. And as we grow up, it's our opportunity to heal and transform. Today, we are going to discuss the tools and the techniques to manage our emotions and heal ourselves. So we have with us none other than Nawaz Singhania, here to handhold us in the later part of our life to heal and transform and become the best version of yourself. So over to Nawaz. Welcome to the show, The Healing Touch.
Thank you.
Well, we all learned that life comes back in circle, and the lessons, the healing, the trauma, the memories, everything starts way before we take birth, in the womb, and then eventually your childhood shapes who you are, who you become, your relationships, your health, and everything that you grow into as an adult. And then your journey starts to go back and heal yourself, heal your traumas, and then become the best version of yourself by transforming. And today we are going to discuss the solutions, the tools and techniques that can help us heal ourselves. No matter where we come from, our age, our gender, our social status, there are few things that we carry as human beings, something like stress, anger, anxiety. These are the things that follow us wherever we go. What are your views on these?
So stress is a part of life, and with it anxiety. If you're lucky enough to have it all, if you're lucky enough to have a rose, for example, you still have to contend with the fact that the rose has a lot of thorns. And if you're darn lucky enough to have a whole rose garden, you still have to contend with the fact that you have millions of thorns in it. So it's all rolled into one. There's healthy stress, there's good stress, it makes you perform, it makes you your best self, like shooting with you here and now. And there's bad stress, which brings out the worst in you, makes you really upset, anxious, lose sleep, malfunction, get upset, get irritated with people, get angry, you're just not performing. And it's that stress that we really want to address, the latter. So there are ample ways of managing stress, anxiety, tension, which we can talk about later as well if you like. But there are simple hacks and tricks, and there are of course those that take a longer time and you can have a longer view on them because you want to address those issues for all time, all term, etc. So yes, depending on the need.
Like you said, stress can be good or bad. It's all about how we manage them, and it's all about how we use these tools and techniques that we are going to discuss in the episode, how it can make you as a human being a better human being, because these are inevitable. So can we discuss a little about what are the hacks to manage these?
So for example, if you want really quick, jaldi hacks, I'm on the go, I'm on the run, and I'm about to get onto that important work call and I'm really stressed out, how can I de-stress? Simple exercise of breathing. You just stand in your own space, close your eyes, take a deep, or sit in your own space, close your eyes, take a deep, long breath in through the nose, hold it for a while, out through the mouth. The trick is to make sure that your inhalation is as long as your exhalation. Do that 2-3 times, then reverse it. In through the mouth, hold just as long as you drew the breath in, and then out through the nose. again, just as long. And center yourself, find yourself grounded, find yourself composed. You'll automatically find that your pulse lowers, your heart rate lowers, your breath rate lowers, etc. You feel a lot more in your own space. Other hacks and tricks like the stress ball, it's even called that for a reason, where the squeezy, which you kind of squeeze and release, helps you release that nervous tension at the ends of your fingers where you're itching to do something and it may be the wrong thing. It helps there and then. Other hacks like, well, there are certain pranayams, of course, that really help. Nadi Shuddha pranayam, the Brahmari breathing, there are quite a few of those. They release tension, they release stress, they calm your nerves, they lower your heart rate, breath rate, etc. There are hacks which take longer, which we can talk about later as well.
But do you think that lifestyle plays a very big role in how you manage your stress and eventually your trauma, obviously?
Yes, because if I'm managing my stress in a negative fashion through my lifestyle, let's say I'm drinking, I'm smoking, I'm overeating, I don't get enough sleep, all these things negatively, affect the system. And so if you want to manage your stress better, eat clean, eat healthy, lots of fruits and vegetables, less fried stuff, less starchy foods. You want to make sure that you don't drink. Sleep well, quality, quantity, both. Lots of plain room temperature water to detox, to help you get rid of all those toxins, the excess weight, etc. that we carry on us, which adds to all that stress as well. Keep your house, your environment neat, clean. Little plants on the windowsill. It all helps to de-stress. It all helps bring in the greenery, bring in nature. And nature is nurture. So, yeah.
Well, these are some basic tips I guess anyone and everyone can follow by sitting at their home or even while on the go.
Absolutely, it's super easy.
So Nawaz, you mentioned about pranayam, yoga, breathing exercises or being in the nature. But one thing that keeps popping always is meditation. Can that help us heal ourselves?
Yes, of course, because you're connecting with source, you're connecting with self, you're grounding yourself, you're finding your true purpose through meditation, you're through nature through meditation, you're emptying your mind. The attempt is to empty your mind. Thoughts which appear, you want to dispense of them. They're thoughts of activity, things, people, events, emotions, rush, etc. You're clearing all of that. And you'll find that those who meditate are the most gentle, peaceful, calm people around us as well. There are many other hacks which also help, but are a bit longer term. For example, you may want to be out in nature a lot more. Go for walks, go for trips, spend time with friends, engage in hobbies, whatever you like. There are so many ways of doing it, which are a little bit more time consuming, but also give back to you amply in terms of, long-term result.
You spoke about people. They say that the people you spend most time with, you become them. But there are also times that you have negative people around you. You may or you may not be able to cut them off. How do they play a role in your healing process or in your transformation process?
So the top 10, 15, whatever people that you spend your maximum time with, you become as intelligent as them, you become as empathetic or otherwise as them. Yes, you imbibe a lot of them and they imbibe a lot of you. And in that knowledge, we need to be a lot more vigilant, a lot more particular, careful about choosing wisely and carefully dropping off those that we can carefully drop off. And that is the answer to the negative as well. We all have people in our lives who are difficult, who are diffident, who push back, who have a problem with everything, just personality issues, and we all easily, quickly identify them. To the extent that you can carefully, quietly disengage, disappear as if you never did, the better. There are times when we can't. It's that difficult boss, or it's that difficult brother, or whatever it might be, okay? And you can't, for a variety of reasons, disengage. Let's say a family member is difficult, but then there are other family members that are engaged with them, that we love, that we care about, and we therefore can't just cut away. What do? You're stuck in your job, you haven't gotten another, you still have to deal with that difficult boss. What do? The less you engage, and the more pleasant you keep it, and the more non-controversial you keep it, the better for you. The less information you share about yourself, the better for you. Keep your interactions limited. They may have a whole 2, 3, 4, 5 paragraphs to say, to ask, to inquire, to grill. Keep your reaction neutral. Don't give them an emotional rise, good, bad, ugly, don't. And just keep it to short, crisp answers. Yes, okay, sure, will do, you're right, is better.
Does that mean having boundaries is the way to deal with people and to have a peaceful life?
Absolutely. And in those sort of short, succinct answers, you already establish a boundary because the other person realizes that you can't be baited in. You can't be hooked and booked and cooked and baited in. So that in itself is a boundary. Other than that, there are people who are very nice and they get taken for granted or they get disrespected. They can't seem to say no. So it is very important to have healthy boundaries. The best of us sometimes cannot do something, are not able to manage whatever it is, whatever is requested of them. There's always a good way of saying no, putting it off to a little bit later, or can somebody else do it instead, or manage it that way instead. But boundaries are always very important. We all have our boundaries. In fact, God entailed you to have a boundary, right? I mean, Sudakshana is Sudakshana in this boundary that I see her. She's not floating all over the place. And it's important.
But again, talking about the Indian culture, and I've seen often, especially from the personal experience, that sometimes you're expected to people please a lot and that affects your mental health. How do we, get into that situation where we can step back and say, hey, I cannot do this?
Being a good person, being a nice person is great. We're all taught to be, as women especially, nurturers, caretakers, givers. We bring up the young, we take care of the old, we manage the street dogs, the underprivileged children and families, etc., etc. We do a lot of good, and that's wonderful, that's excellent, that always should be, but not at the cost of ourselves. So when you feel people have overstepped, or when you feel that I really am not able to manage it this way, I'll manage it another way, or it's important to let people know what you can and what you can't do. They also let you know what you can and what you can't do. There's always a very nice way of saying no. You don't have to be confrontational. You don't have to be rude or nasty about it at all. But no, I am not able to right now. Can I do it later, or can we do it this way? Or I'm so sorry, I wish I could. I was to go for somebody's movie debut tonight, and I've just messaged saying, I'm so sorry. I really would have loved to, but unfortunately I'm stuck in this shoot. It's gone on longer than expected. That's a no. But there's nothing wrong about it. They understand. Healthy people understand, are empathetic about it, and give you time and space as well.
One of the most common emotion that comes out when you're feeling sad, frustrated, irritated is anger. And it has different levels, and it can be really harmful, not just to the other people, but the one who is angry too. What is your perspective on that?
Anger, raging, screaming, shouting, yelling, abusing, it all falls under the same bucket. Why people reach that stage is because they're feeling out of control, they're feeling helpless, they're feeling like, perhaps many times people feel like, if I rage, if I show anger, if I'm abusive, I'll get my way. I can be unreasonable, I'll get my way. The other person will just shut up because I kind of road roll over them. As far as the person who's getting angry is concerned, if the question is more about, I don't want to be angry, I want to manage myself better, I want to control that emotion, there are ways of doing it. So when you feel that anger is building up, maybe you're dealing with somebody who's being very difficult or refusing to understand or refusing to be reasonable, etc., backing off a little bit is a good way. Rather than being confrontational with somebody, have you noticed when you receive a difficult text, somebody is being difficult on message with you, rather than being confrontational and having your say back, and then it goes back and forth and gets angrier and more vile and bitter, etc. If you say nothing at all, they jump out of their skin. They can't bear that. And you've said and done absolutely nothing. You've been perfectly perfect. Yeah? So a perfectly good way to handle anger, rather, is to just say and do nothing. Sit in your own space of calm and peace. Decide that nothing that the other person is going to do is going to hilau me, is going to shake me up. I am going to hold my own space and my own peace. That makes the other person actually really upset and angry. If you're in front of somebody and this is happening, just back off a little bit. Okay, great. I will see you in a while. I have an urgent errand to run, sort of a situation. Back off. Take the time and space. People who get angry usually can't hold that thought or can't hold that peace for too long. They've got to come back and confront it this way, that way. And in that, you'll already find your opening and your answer. They're impatient people in general. The old trick of back off, do what you want to, but do it after 24 hours, is very sound advice. The old methodology of count to 100 and then come back on it. Take 5 deep breaths and then come back onto it, etc. All has a lot of wisdom and it works.
And how do you think one can notice or understand the triggers or the causes of their anger?
I think self-awareness and what you're actually feeling under your skin and in your gut tells you that, okay, I'm going into a bit of a dangerous zone where I could lose my rag. And knowing in advance, having that sort of foresight, you can prepare better. You can also see that in other people that you know. So if you see certain triggers being pulled on another person, you see certain behavioral patterns, anger isn't explosive. It doesn't just come on without any signs ahead of that. You will see certain symptoms, you will see certain irritation, you will see it building. That's your cue to, step down, back off, move away, come back later, whatever it might be.
And when do you know if somebody is crossing their line just because they are angry, or they just say that, hey, I was angry, that's why I did it, but I'm sorry now?
I like to tell people that sorry means that I regret what I did and I will make sure I don't do it again. Sorry is not a ticket to bad behavior again and again. As long as that's clear, it's a good thing. Doesn't necessarily mean that you forgive. Forgiveness is another huge topic.
Yeah, I was coming to that.
Yeah. So, do you forgive? Firstly, forgiveness is not for the other person who's wronged you. They've wronged you. They may be apologetic, and you may or may not accept it, depending on whether it's a genuine apology, it will not repeat, or it's just a gate pass to, bad behavior continuing. Forgiveness is more for yourself. If you don't forgive, if you're holding on to so much anger and hatred and bitterness within you towards somebody for whatever it is, it's a recipe for cancer, for tumors, for ulcers. That's what you're buying into. And that's really not what you want to buy into. So you're forgiving for yourself. That's not something the other person needs to even know. As far as the other person forgiveness is concerned, no, I don't believe, like I said, in just forgiveness for the sake of it. As long as the matter is worked through, two people decide like adults, like, why did this happen? What were the triggers? What made me do it? What was my part in it? I own it. What is your part in it? You own it. And we decide logically that we're not going to do that again. That's good. You're good to go. You learn. It's a process together. That's what healthy people do.
Nawaz, there are other negative emotions too, apart from, anger. It can be guilt or fear. And all of these needs to
or shame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Failure.
Or bitterness. Fear. Yeah.
All of these need to be addressed, and sometimes you don't know what emotion is coming out, whereas deep inside you're feeling something else. What are the techniques to understand, and then what are the techniques to manage these negative emotions?
So let's deal with one at a time. Guilt. Guilt is a terrible waste of time. There should really be no guilt, because you should be trying to act in the moment. Live your best, live your truth and act in the moment. Understand the consequences of your actions, and then there is no guilt. Because should the moment arise again, you would do the same thing again, knowing that the outcome could be this or that. So that's what I have to say on guilt. It's just a matter of talking to oneself to understand. Yeah? If I did something wrong in the moment, why did I do it? Did I let somebody down? Did I throw somebody under the bus? Then that comes back to my morals and values. I need to address those. If I did those, if they were a bit lacking, if my conscience was a bit lacking, if I did not have a moral compass and I've done those things and I have the guilt for it, do I want to correct that? And if not, then I should have no guilt anyway. Shame is one of the lowest vibrating emotions. Shame is linked rather with self-esteem. What is it that makes you feel shameful about yourself? Write it down. Do you feel lesser than because what? Something to do with education, something to do with upbringing, something to do with your family, your background, your looks, your figure, your what? Identify it. and then start working towards bridging that gap. If I feel I'm not educated enough, my gosh, the world is full of education. You've got a phone, YouTube, sit down, educate yourself. There's nothing that's not available. If I feel there's something wrong with my, something wrong with my face, I don't like my lips, makeup and surgery and 1,000,001 things. Do what it takes to make you feel good about yourself. It's all available. We spoke about fear. Frankly, there's nothing to fear but fear itself. Most of the things that we fear never actually happen, if you think about it. And if you're still fearful about something, prepare for it. I'm fearful of this eventuality. I'm fearful of this person I care about so deeply and love so much passing away. Prepare. Spend time with them. Say and do what you need to, here and now. I'm fearful of, Bombay's on a coastline. It may disappear altogether. Plan differently. Move to, Canada, whatever. Whatever it is that you're actually fearful about, analyze it, sit down, think about it. If it's a reality, do things to overcome that fear. So we spoke about guilt, shame, fear, bitterness. Bitterness is another one. I'm bitter about something. I feel wronged. I feel slighted. And that again links with who do I want to remain in touch with? Who do I not? Who's valuable in my life? Who's not? It's all a matter of my choice. And how do I manage that? How do I let those people down? Even when I cut out people from my life, for instance. And of course, we all come across people who are worth keeping and worth grappling to your soul, and others that are worth getting rid of really fast. So what do I do when I come across the latter? I just quietly disengage. They don't even know they've been disengaged from. I just quietly respond less. I'm not around. I'm not available. I'm more difficult to get a hold of, etc., etc. And I quietly dissipate. There's no need to make enemies of anyone. Life is long, and the people you meet on the way up are also the ones you'll meet on the way down. Yeah? So you never, in my opinion, roll the shutters down on any relationship.
What about jealousy?
Jealousy and envy are two emotions which may or may not really be a part of healing. Things may have happened to make me jealous or envious, and the two are different. I'll explain the difference. But it may not necessarily be a part of my healing. It's just a human emotion. I feel it. Okay? I'm jealous if somebody has something that I had. I don't know. Let's say somebody has taken away your boyfriend. You will be jealous because that person has taken away your boyfriend. But envy, on the other hand, is me coveting things I never had, which another person has. Oh my God, that person owns that island. I'm envious of them. I'm not jealous of them. I'm envious of them. Okay? Use them as inspiration is what I would say. If you're envious of somebody, imitate what they're doing. It's the best form of flattery. Learn from them. What did they do to get there? There's a lot of inspiration there. There's a lot of learning there. Use it to climb up, not a way of pulling them down. So use it in a positive spirit, in a positive light, because you'll gain so much. There's a lot of win-win.
Yeah, I love what you said.
Another very strong human emotion, negative human emotion, is hate. Again, it's not a part of healing, because anyone can feel hate at any point in time, but when we need healing, hate is usually a very large part of that healing. It's very intense. Hate is another one that eats you up from the inside, like anger, and seeds in cancers and ulcers and tumors and all things which are suppressed, don't have an outlet. As they say, the opposite of love is not hate. The opposite of love is indifference. So if you're at hate, and that's fine, we're all human, work at getting to indifference. It happens over time, right? Your boyfriend dumped you today, you hate him, and you're jealous of whoever has him. You're not at the opposite end of love. That'll only happen when over time you get to indifference. But you've gotten to indifference eventually over somebody or the other, haven't you? We all have. That's where you want to get to. So use wherever you're at to propel yourself to a better place. The most negative experiences in life I've found, and it didn't feel like at that point in time at all, happened for very good reason and took me to the best places in my life, took me to the highest learning. The sort of changes that occurred as a result would not have occurred otherwise remotely. So anything negative that way, try and figure that, okay, I'm at the bottom of the well, I couldn't get any lower, which is a good thing because all I can see when I look up is stars. I'm not going to look at the bottom of the well and see the mud. I'm going to look up and I'm going to see the stars. And I have two strong arms to pull me out of that well. Why would I sit at the bottom of the well and continue to wallow? So that's how I see it.
Beautiful. Any last tip for all the viewers or any important aspect that you want to cover?
Yes, so I'd like to say that all of these negative emotions that we discussed right now, hate, anger, jealousy, envy, spite, whatever it might be, guilt, shame, etc., all of them, while they are regular human emotions and we can control them, manage them, mitigate them, etc., and they are also a large part of our healing journey. Should we have healing from earlier times? If we have healing from earlier times, it clearly requires deeper looking into, medical looking into, therapy, often hypnotherapy as well. And what we're talking about today, therefore, is just the tip of the iceberg. It's just a kind of open the eyelid a bit and, have a bit of a flashlight onto the path of where we possibly need to be and go. But that's the start of the journey. It's not the end of the journey. And I hope all our viewers get a lot out of this. There may be some aha moments. There may be some, oh my God, I see myself in that moment. And that would be the most important realization. Here's to better times, better health, and wellness in totality.
Thank you so much. I mean, that was a pretty powerful session, a deep dive within yourself, and the tools, the techniques that you mentioned are something that can transform one's life, at least on a daily basis, and then whenever you need a professional help. Thank you so much, Nawaz.
Thank you for having me.